Is it hard playing the guitar with a blindfold?
That's not so bad.
Yeah. Well, hello there. My name's HW. Who are you?
I'm the Sooze.
And you might be wondering why the Sooze is blindfolded right now. Well, it's because we wanted to show off this guy right here. It's the new... I love how you're looking over.
I know, I can't see you.
It's the new Kemper Profiler Stage, and I didn't even want to show the Sooze unless I could capture it on camera. I wanted to get his every reaction. This is a guy like me who uses toasters religiously every weekend, every week.
Maybe every day.
Maybe every day, close to every day.
Yeah.
Close to every day, if not every day. 6 days a week at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've seen some video, like a lot of people. You've seen some videos.
Yep.
And you kind of know how this thing works.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get your first reactions.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the unit more. We'll go through it. We'll try to program some stuff. I threw in some, just a couple of profiles, ones that you like.
Okay.
And
I'm excited, man.
let's see it. So let's go ahead and pull the blindfold off.
Are we doing this?
I want to behold your reaction to the...
Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
There's like a visceral, like, response. Like when you see it, you're like, okay, they nailed it.
They nailed it.
Yeah. Wow, that's really great.
It's like a Kemper, but it's been squashed into a flat floorboard.
Yeah. It's actually smaller than I was imagining.
Right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, you saw the comparisons to the Profiler remote, the
Yeah.
pictures on the Tone Junkie Instagram and on Facebook. You saw the comparison photos to the Helix.
Right. Yeah, it's not like this area here is like more spread out than the remote. Like it's, same amount of buttons, just wider, which it feels, just more spacious. Like
It does.
to hit stuff, and
It doesn't. It's funny. I never felt like the remote was cramped until I looked at the two next to each other.
Right.
And now I look at the remote and I go, oh my gosh, there's way too many stops on there.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
But of course, that has worked forever.
Yeah. Dude, the backlight is great. The logo looks awesome.
We've got a bunch of lights on here, but in a low light condition. I mean, you can see this is backlit. You see all of these. These were numbers that were hardly visible. I mean, only in the best lighting conditions could you see these numbers.
Yeah.
They're now slightly backlit.
Yeah.
And now these numbers, jump out. On a stage, really nice. This thing looks awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
You really can see all your stuff.
It's awesome. And it's light, right?
It's light. It's 10 pounds. It's 10 pounds. Don't move it because it's in the frame.
Oh, okay.
But you lift it a little.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing.
Look at that.
Dude, that's great.
It's great.
So the remote had nothing inside. This has everything inside.
I think most of the weight was from the remote construction, the foot switches, and I think it's just that it had a screen also. I just think it's that these knobs, these buttons, and the circuit boards are just light.
Okay.
So when you're adding that in, it's not much.
Yeah.
It's not much weight.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of value.
Cool.
I mean, you want to try and use this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, let's just look at it here for a minute. Look at this. Want to show me the cool? I want to show you the cool thing. Look at this. You got to hold down long press to shut down. No, I changed my mind.
It's like a.
I'm gonna shut this unit down.
Like the launch codes. Like no,
I changed my mind.
I know.
Look, I changed it right. It almost hit the end.
Right. Okay.
Browser. Performance mode. Profiler.
That's pretty slick.
Now here's the thing, and for people watching a video who have watched the previous videos, I haven't really touched on this yet. So I wanted to show you this because the question comes up, and we'll do a video about this unit versus a toaster and a remote, the pros and cons. But one of the things that's interesting, and it makes sense when you think about it, is this screen has to now do the job of two screens. This screen has to function as the profiler screen, like the editing screen, and then it's got to function as the live screen. So when I do something like that, it's got to show me what I saw on the remote.
Right.
So there's this sort of bounce back and forth between what you're seeing on the screen. And basically how it works is whenever you use any of these foot switches, the UI of these foot switches, the Kemper is assuming that you're standing up.
Okay.
and that you're playing this in a situation where you need an overview of your sound and effects.
Mm-hmm.
When you bend down and hit a button, it goes back to the edit. That's sort of the editing window, what you would see on a profiler normally.
Okay.
So press, turn on an effect or something.
Oh, interesting.
Any effect you engage, instantly we're in live, kind of what I'll call live mode.
Okay.
Or foot switch mode.
Not editing mode.
Yeah, we're in remote screen. We'll call it remote screen and toaster screen or profiler screen. So this is like we're all in the remote screen. Whenever you engage anything up here, any of these buttons,
even like the effects buttons and all that stuff.
even the effects buttons, yeah, you stay. It keeps it. See, I'm just turning them on and off. And if I hold it down still, same functionality.
So if you push one of these, so you go back. So now you're in remote screen. If you just push that, okay,
it's going to go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
now the only thing that's a little confusing about that is that let's say you're a guy who wants to put this on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
You have to balance this one challenge, which is this. Where do you engage the tuner? There's no more chicken head knob.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to engage the tuner is here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to press the tuner, and now we're tuning, right?
And playing. All right. Now I'm done tuning.
Okay, we're done tuning. Now, you would think you could hit that tuner and go back to where you were.
Right.
But we started at the profiler screen, but if we hit tuner again, it thinks we're live because any foot switch goes back to the profiler.
What if you hit it like an effect?
So if you hit like one of these, you can get back out that way. If you hit any of the buttons, you'll be back at profiler
So whatever
screen.
you press, you gotta just make sure that
Actually, look, I can't even get out of tuner that way. I can go back to browse mode. I can hit browse mode.
Okay.
So it's sort of like treating tuner like another mode, same thing as the chicken heads.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to be aware of that.
Yeah.
So if you're selling your toaster and this is going to be your main unit, you just kind of got to be aware that sometimes that screen is basically assuming you're standing up.
Right.
I mean, we're seated right here.
And I wouldn't really ever go to touch these if I was using like the editor that's coming, or once I was done programming everything, then I might touch one just to practice, play through.
Totally.
That's cool.
So here's a profile that I really like. I'll switch. Yeah, here we go. B2. It's exactly what you would think. I want my compressor here.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. It's a sine.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay.
Same thing. I want my boost. It's exactly what you would expect, I want my extra delay. Put that back here.
And you can still do the toggle thing. Like if this is there.
Yep.
Back and forth.
Yep.
Okay.
You can, talk.
Sweet.
It's really nice. I mean, it's exactly what you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Show
do
me
it all.
how to do the new effects. Select.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. Just touch that button. Just put your finger on it. Don't even push it. See, it's sensitive to your. It's what do you call that? Not a haptic. It's
Capacitor.
Yeah, it's like a capacitance switch. Isn't that what they call it or something? I don't
Something
remember.
like that.
But they call it,
Yeah.
But when you basically select it, here's what's cool about that. When you basically, and it works for this too. It works for the type. Well, it works when you're in the effects mode. So here I'm just touching that. I mean, I'm not turning it.
Mm-hmm.
So this wheel still clicks like all the wheels.
Okay.
It still clicks when I turn it.
So that's going through profiles right there.
That's going through profiles.
Okay.
So if I want to go through effects, so okay, we're on B1. So now here, let's go to B2. auto load this? There we go. B2. And let me reassign some of these so we can use these again. And look, simple. I just built that whole thing back, right?
So how do you save that? Like
okay, so to save is the same thing. We just hit store. I'm gonna go back so I can see the screen. Let's say I want it saved like this in this mode. So I've got these on. So see right there, as soon as I'm hitting these things, it goes right back to remote screen.
Okay.
So let's say I want to save that. Same thing we're always used to save.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna just replace that. Obviously, we've talked about rig volume is no longer here. You got to hold down rig. I'm sorry, don't hold it down, just press it. Boom, you got rig volume right there.
Okay.
Someone was telling me that in the output screen, you could, on page 2, you could change that you could make this knob the rig knob. I haven't been able to find that.
Yeah, all it looks like you can do is link
just
it.
Just link and unlink.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't found that.
Yeah, it would have to stop being your master volume.
Yeah.
And
is it
start
in the system menu?
Your rig, yeah.
Is it page 2 of the system menu? No. If we find it, I'll make a video about it. I'll make a tips and tricks video about it because I so far haven't seen it in the profiler. And that's just...
that's a knob I use a lot, the rig volume.
Yeah, the rig volume is a knob I use a lot too. And I think really what's happening here is the editor's going to be out soon. The new rig manager just dropped this today. It's already got presets in it now. We can now share effects presets.
Okay.
That's a whole new functionality we never had before. We used to have to build them into a profile, and then I'd have to share a profile with you if I wanted to give you my delay.
Right.
Now delays, cabs, it looks like they all go in there through Rig Manager now, which is incredible. Incredible.
It'll just save as a...
It saves as, it's called, now in the top of Rig Manager, it's kind of off screen there if you look at my computer.
Okay.
It's, so all rigs, now, and then instead of going to all performances, in the middle, all presets. And there's several different types of presets. There's amps, effects, and cabs.
Oh, that's cool.
So now the Tone Junkie cab packs that we sell, that people used to always message me, how come I can't put this in my Rig Manager and go in? And I would always go, sorry, you got to use a flash drive. I don't know why Kemper hasn't let Rig Manager do everything that a flash drive does. Now you can add cabs through Rig Manager.
That's awesome.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Now I can say, hey guys, check out this really cool delay that I dialed in, or check out this verb, or this delay and verb together that I'm getting a shimmer sound with. And you can just send that to people.
Wow, that's cool.
Super cool. Can those go on the Rig Exchange? I'm really not sure. Maybe. They'll have to call it the Rig and Preset Exchange.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you want to try the effects here, right?
Yeah.
So check these out. So let's say we want to change this X slot. So now...
let's do like a vibrato.
Look, we just touch it. Whoa.
That's cool.
Look at that.
Okay.
So people are telling me that when you can hold this down, when you hold it down, it selects it. So it functions the same way. So I'm not really sure what people were sort of trying to tell me to do there. But basically, if you browse with this knob, you're able, this screen here is like our old style of browsing. You're going through every single preset, scrolling through every single thing. Right?
There's like 300 of them.
300. If you come over here and use the type knob, you're now controlling the center bar here. Because this arrow says type this way. It's saying your type knob is going to this, is controlling this column.
Okay.
But if you select it the other way, now the type knob allows you to jump down to reverb if you want. So now you're selecting between delay, reverb, effects loop. So if this button, now it's a category.
Right.
So it's category, type, preset. So that, category sort of algorithm preset.
Yeah. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
That's super fast.
Super fast. So now, no more starting at boost and I'm trying to get all the way to reverb. You'd use that one to get down to reverb. This one, if you just want to go through different sounds.
That's great.
Within those. It's a lot faster.
What I really like about how it's laid out here is like all the dual delays are all together, rather than like before, you go through and it was like this was a dual delay and that was a single and that was a pitch. So it's like
totally.
If I know I want dual delay but I don't know which one, I can just go here and just go through these only. Like that's really handy. Love that.
It's super cool.
All right, so let's do like a vibrato. So I would go here, right? Is it under?
Or, I mean, you can stay in the middle.
Oh, and just
keep
all
going.
The way up.
It'll be under modulation, is it? Where is vibrato in here? It'll be under pitch shifting, won't it?
Is it?
Is it under chorus? Well, now we have no idea.
Well,
it's not under boost. It's under chorus.
Let's try that. Okay.
Here we go. It's under chorus.
So now I've got to vibrato. I've got fast, sky, slow, subtle, watery. So that's really cool.
If you keep just browsing, you can get out of vibrato.
It would
see how it just went up to micro pitch.
The next one up. Okay.
Yeah, so you can still use this browse knob for everything, which I really like this micro pitch. That's exactly what we wanted.
That's really cool. Okay, so if I was there and I want to change that, I could just go here, and then I go here, vibrato, go to slow, and then do that to edit it.
Yeah.
Oh, change that one. There we go. Does that still turn it off when you hit that?
Yeah, so if you turn it off, it is off now, and then it's back on. If you want to get out of that screen, and you still hold it to edit it. So if I'm in this screen, I can still turn on and off other effects.
Oh, okay.
It is bringing them up too. But if I'm holding if I'm in there, I can turn these on and off.
Okay. So wherever you are in here, if you turn that, it will change that slot.
Yeah.
Into something else. Okay. Yeah, that was a workflow thing for me. Like I would use the on and off soft button in here a lot, you know, and so now it's just getting used to hitting the block button.
Yeah.
Cool.
Initial impressions. It feels like a Kemper, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all the little things,
that
you will have to, like workflow wise, you'll have to get used to. They had to get rid of a lot to get it into this, like you're saying, it doesn't have the on and off button.
Yeah, the on and off button's gone, the undo button is gone.
Volume, yeah. But once you get used to the...
I know a lot of people are a little bit upset that there's no effects effects and stomp knob.
Yeah.
But basically, the editor and having presets in there is going to allow us, I believe, to drag and drop presets right into the editor. Because we're now going to have right above the editor, if you go back and look at that NAMM video from when they show the editor, it's got... I think you can just grab a list of effects and bring down one of the effects. So the ability to save pedal boards, while that's still something that's useful when you're using, the interface on the toaster or something, this unit is probably really designed to be like, let me set you up on my computer.
Right.
I can make edits if I need to when I'm live, but primarily for ease of use, ease of building and tweaking at home, it looks like they're relying on the editor for that.
Right.
And that's totally, to me, reasonable. It's totally reasonable to say that.
Yeah. It's almost showing you, like, you're not going to need these anymore, by removing them.
Yeah. Rig volume is another one. Like you talked about, you use rig volume a lot when you're making a performance. But and so it's kind of like, if we're going to use this with an editor, what features do we not need to be here? And how can we get this sort of as streamlined as possible?
Yeah. It looks awesome, man. Like they did a good job laying it out.
Honestly, they could have given us a much more stripped down unit and just said, this is meant to be used with an editor at home, and then you take the stuff on the go. I mean, look at something like the H9.
Yeah,
that's really to the extreme. It's like, hey, if you want to edit this, you use something else.
Right.
If not, we've built this pedal to be completely standalone. Now, obviously, what's the drawback to the H9? Everyone always says, it's great if you have your tablet out. It's great if you have, but it's like, you can make little tweaks here and there, but if you can't, I had one studio guy tell me he felt like whenever he used his H9, he would always be on the phone, and then he felt like the producer was probably perceiving that he wasn't interested in what they were doing, and he was like checking Facebook on his phone, and then he'd always be like, oh let me just edit my mix parameter right here,
like
right?
super obvious.
Super obvious.
Yeah.
But this, to me, honestly, the way it's laid out, I wouldn't be afraid to edit and build a performance right here with no computer attached.
Yeah.
There's some things that the workflow will be much easier on the computer, but I think this is great.
Yeah, this is the best. This might be like a no-duh statement, but like the best thing this solves to me is every time I do set up all my stuff before I play, and with just the remote in front of me, I can't make any changes, and so that's the biggest selling point of this to me is when I'm playing live, to play and go, I could use a little bit more gain on that or a little bit more mix on that delay. I can just reach down and change it,
Totally.
I'm more likely to make changes on the fly with this unit than I am with a remote.
100%. What's this? What do we got here?
I'll do the Arshel. So good.
Isn't that awesome?
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
This is the new Sooze Arshel, and it's one you've been playing a ton.
I'm playing it a lot, yeah.
And so look, what if you were going to make some edits here? First time on the stage.
Okay.
What if I was like, Sooze, it sounds a little too dark. Let's bring up a little bit. It sounds awesome, by the way. These profiles sound like, play a little more. It sounds like the best vintage Marshall you've... playing a performance you built, and it's a performance we're going to include in the Arshel pack.
Yeah.
You dig this pack, huh?
It's really, really good. Yeah, it's just really balanced. I played it a lot with the telly at first, and just kind of gives a low, mid kind of like growl to a telly, so it's not as I don't know, like high-endy and like twangy. Just brings it more back to like kind of a rock sound,
These are all Sooze effects, but in the pack we put in a performance that you built sort of for the Sunday morning dudes.
Yeah.
Let's say you want, let's say I was like, give me a little more brightness.
Right.
Have at it.
Okay.
You've got to turn up what if I was like, turn up the definition a little?
Definition. Okay, so amp. I gotta find amp. Let's see. There we go. Okay, then hit back. Okay.
There you go.
Let's see. Maybe I want some trim on here. So I hit that. Go to category. I would still like these to be like, alphabetical or something. I guess they're by like type, huh?
Yeah, they're by type. Do you know what kind of bothers me about it now? I don't necessarily want them to change color anymore.
Okay.
Is that something I can change?
Yeah, maybe. You should, or before you could change a lot of the colors of like the different.
Yeah. I'm sure you still can. I just wonder if you can change the color of. So you just copied it to the clipboard. So I just don't have it to auto assign. So just press load preset.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You can tell it to auto load, but I turn that off. And you can, I mean, like I would, let's throw the verb there. Let's throw the boost here. Let's throw the compressor. So I didn't even touch it. So look, if I bend down, let's say you are in live mode. This is why I think this UI is really well thought out, actually. I know everyone's going like, oh, this is stupid. There's no touch screen. Okay, I'm just going to make an observation for a minute. Okay. For years, keyboardists have had big Trinitrons, Sony Trinitrons, or what, Korg Trinitrons with touchscreens. And after everyone got really into touchscreens, there was a movement back to more tactile interfaces. So for example, the Nord is sort of the company that really made popular again a fully digital product, but with more tactile stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about this is, let's say I'm in this live mode and I just want to brighten up my guitar a little bit. If I just touch this knob, I just touched it. That's that capacitance touching. All of a sudden, I can see. It doesn't work for everything because I have lights here. I can see these. But for these ones I can't see, like Michael Britt asked me. This is the first thing he asked me. When I'm on the screen, can I run back and can I see what these values are? Because the reason he uses a head instead of a rack is because he wants to see where his EQ is. Yeah. So one of the first things I did was check this. When you're in this live mode, you don't have to leave this live mode or this remote profile screen because we've been hitting these buttons, and you can bend down and just check. You can see, oh, I want to go up with my treble, down with my treble, and I can see all that, and it leaves me in live mode. So if you need to make a quick adjustment, you can make a quick adjustment. There you go. It'll with time, it'll go back.
Or you can just come over and turn it.
Yeah, if you turn it, of course, it'll
EQ.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is our EQ, and that EQ has now been nestled in the amp section. We got a fourth page of the amp section.
Oh, okay.
And it's just sitting right there.
But it's also the default underneath the profile name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's always right there.
Right.
It's always on this screen.
Yeah, okay.
If you jump over to sort of the remote screen and you say, I want to check this, you just touch.
Okay.
It's that.
Is it the same? So like you're playing and everything, and you want to like I was talking about before. Like I like my reverb. It's just a little long. So we're in playing mode or whatever you called it. If I just go like that and turn it down, will it go back to live mode?
As soon as you hit anything else,
okay,
it should go back to live mode. Now, even if it's oh, that's strange.
So I guess that screen was left on, from me editing it. So
right.
If it was like that,
if you were back here, it will switch back. Now that's interesting. I'm not sure what the use case for that would be. Why I would want this to stay on when I start hitting these. Maybe so I can check a morph. Actually, if you're gonna check your morphing, this would be a quick way to check it.
Or
and you can see the morph light's on. I mean, the other way to check it would be to press this, but with your foot, you can press it.
What about going from? Yeah.
It leaves that on. So
yeah,
you're looking
I can see
at different
that value. Now this is more back on my desk. I'm editing. Like I would want that to stay up rather than turn it back on. Turn it back on.
Sure. And that's always sort of how the profiler screen reacts. But now we have this new variable. When is it going to switch me to the remote view?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's just part of the workflow. It's just always been on that back button.
And if you think about it, their challenge designing this must have been, all right, we're making one Kemper now on the floor, and we have two screens currently. We're trying to duplicate a setup where there's usually two screens.
Right.
So now we have to make this thing function as two screens. So we've got to sort of jump back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't want it the other way where I hit these and it didn't pop up, because now I've got to go engage that somehow,
I just got an iPhone 10, or excuse me, an XS Max. I went into the store and I said to the guy, my phone's broken, the mic broke. Can I just get can I get a new iPhone, like the 10 Plus? He's like, we don't have 10 Plus anymore. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we have the XR, XS, XS Max. And I said to the guy, XS Max, that sounds like a tampon.
You said that?
I said that.
Wow.
Doesn't it? Okay, this is just me. It totally, to me, it's like, what are we saying anymore?
Right.
Right? It's that, okay, I don't know. You ever see those commercials for the, okay, anyway.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Listen, but
your point is that...
My point is, this button no longer has a home screen, which has been a mainstay of Apple devices, of iPhones, since the very first iPhone.
Right.
There was one button always on the front, and that's been a home screen button. It took me one day to stop reaching for the button.
Oh, yeah.
I would guess right now that you are already used to this interface.
Yeah.
Like that you'd be able to just start doing your stuff. You wouldn't be hitting wrong buttons,
searching for stuff. Yeah. Oh, I could easily set this up just from, using a Kemper for years now.
It feels both super familiar and yet new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like a step forward in a lot of the ways of, like, that idea of, like, you're not going to need these anymore, like the stomp button and the effect, like that kind of stuff. I'm down with that. Cool. Like, show me how to do it now.
We were talking earlier, and you likened it to like starting a new job. I've had a job before, but now it's a new job, new people, new stuff. It feels new, but it's familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're gonna get one of these, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I'm getting one of these, and I made that joking sort of video that has a ton of people commenting on it of me throwing away my old profile. To me, I'm gonna keep my profiler heads for at my desk for like Tone Junkie tips and tricks videos. But this is now going to live in a backpack if they make a backpack, in a case if they make a case. For now, I'll probably put it on a pedal board, put it in the pedal board. I have a pedal board this will fit on. I'll put it on there with two expressions. It will never leave that except when I go play live or when I go to update it. And currently, I have two toasters, and that's how I use them now. One is used for profiling in videos. The other is used strictly for live playing.
Yeah.
And and a remote sits there with it, and I literally never open it. I literally just grab my guitar, and it's out of this room, kind of near where I would exit, for the car. It's just always there, ready to go. This is going to be that unit for me. This is now my 100% live unit, and then I'm going to update it. I'm going to put new profiles on it, and then everything else is on a toaster for me.
You think you'll make more changes live now, standing in front of this, than you would with a remote?
I will not, because... no, I don't think so. I'm very happy with my live sound.
Okay.
I have like
you
a
don't ever
performance
hear
build.
Yourself like, oh, I want to tweak that.
Yeah, and I never really... I have, but I never... it never stopped me from making changes before.
Okay.
And I always had my toaster right there with me, right at my feet.
Oh, okay.
Like I would put my toaster in front of me, and then this thing, or I'm sorry, the remote would be right there as well. So I always had it very accessible. I know some people, maybe had to put their toasters away from them.
Put ours way in the back.
Yeah. No, I always had it with me at my feet. So, what about you?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. So, like we've got two at our church, and right now they're both stage, like house amps. And so having one always on stage, like for me or for whoever else is playing, makes a ton of sense. I probably wouldn't enjoy this on a desk as much as I would the head, but who's to say, like, once the editor comes out, like, I might be on the editor no matter what unit is on my desk, you know what I mean? So it might not matter what I'm plugged into, is if I can do everything there.
To me, then the only problem is, like, you still have to plug into this. You still have to put an input into it, and it's slightly large. You know, a toaster or a rack which just is going to fit in a desk.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally what you're saying. You might never interact with it other than plugging it in.
Yeah, my remote now is on a pedal board, as you know, with like a little Dunlop Mini. Mm-hmm. It's really light. It takes no power at all. It takes no audio cable at all. It's just a Cat 5 at the front of the stage, which is so nice, you know? And so that's not to say that this isn't. It's just, now it's everything. So you have to run power. You got to run your audio. You got to run all this stuff. So.
If you ran all the cables, though, this could take up less space on a desk than the toaster or the rack, though, because you could conceivably just put this underneath your desk at your feet.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd just be putting a floorboard there. You wouldn't be worried about kicking it or something.
Right.
I mean, so it could actually take up less space, and then you would just use the computer all the time to edit it. I certainly think that people who are selling their profiler heads and toasters right now, or the heads and the racks, I don't think they're making a mistake, but they're going to notice these differences in workflow. And I think the biggest thing they're going to notice is the size. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to set, if you're going to put this on the desk, it just takes up a good amount of your desk.
Yeah.
But for a live unit, it's perfect. What do you think of no expression pedal being in here?
I love it. Yeah, I never really liked the built-in Line 6 stuff. It reminded me of like old Boss units that had like the little janky. And the throw is always weird on those. Like, I'd rather choose how my expression pedal feels.
So I totally agree with you. The feeling of the expression pedal on the Helix is unique to the Helix. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very fair criticism, not to make fun of the Helix. I think it's very cool that it's included on that unit. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a plus. The negative could be you are locked into that feeling unit.
Right.
You don't have any choice to change it. And I asked around a little bit why there was not one included. Mm-hmm. The best answer I got was from basically the service center at the British Audio, who's the North American Service Center. Their take was, if that pedal breaks, they repair a lot of units that have built-in pedals. Mm-hmm. And their idea was, if that thing breaks, it could render your unit useless if you're live. If it breaks and is stuck at a certain value, you would have to disable it. You'd have to start editing presets that may rely upon it, and rerouting those to another port, which you certainly can do.
Right.
But you would have to tell the unit, wait, I'm using 5 sounds, 10 sounds tonight, and I need to now tell you my wah is no longer assigned here. Mm-hmm. I have to go to. You have the option to do it, but with this, with making it external or forcing it to be external, not building it in, you're just replacing the actual pedal itself, and boom, you're good to go again.
Yeah.
There's an advantage and a disadvantage. To me, it doesn't bother me, because we already had the expression pedals that we'll use for this.
Right.
We had them with the remote.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me, but I think it's a fair criticism. Maybe some people would have liked to see that.
Sure. Have you tried the looper at all?
I haven't tried.
Are you much into looper?
I haven't tried the looper, but I'm sure it's the same. I've tried the looper on the remote.
Yeah.
I haven't actually tried the send and returns on here. Okay. But what's cool about this unit is obviously you have a stereo send and return, 2 of them now. So you can put one in this section in front and one in the back. Okay. So if you want to run your own delay pedal, you can put it appropriately back here. If you want to run a loop with a couple drives, you can do that. This unit is not so large that you can't put pedals with it.
Yeah, I saw one today where someone was going to put like a little volume pedal and like 2 drives or something. Mm-hmm. That's great. So that would probably be like a pedal train 2 maybe, or like a 3 or something.
That would be a 3 to really fit some extra stuff. A pedal train 2.
I think it's 22 across.
Yeah,
or 24.
You'd be a little tight, I think, on a pedal train 2. Yeah. Once you put an expression pedal, you're going to be pretty tight to fit most drives. Mm-hmm. But a pedal train 3 will definitely give you enough room with this unit to add some expressions, throw some drives up, and use them, as a looper and stuff, and sort of use them in that way.
This is really for the person that already had the toaster and remote. Not the guy that uses a full pedal board, not the guy that uses a rack because he likes it with his rack gear. It's like you said. It's not a new Kemper. It's the same thing. It's a different form.
It's for the segment of the market that was using remotes on the floor already for live stuff.
Yeah.
and they can just take this with them now. I mean, portability. I think in a lot of ways, you know, this is perfect for the church market. In the same way the Helix has been a great fit for that market. You know, I mean, people have you know, issue with the UI. To me, it's logical. It is. That's your signal chain right there.
Right.
You know, it's not a screen. It's not a touch screen, and I get that. You know, there's no scribble strips, which was people. But sometimes I wonder when you just call out all of the features of another unit. I think you just like the other unit.
Yeah, just get a Helix.
You know what I mean, right? For us Kemper users and players, this is a Kemper put into this format. We don't have to relearn anything.
Yeah, this has never been a problem for me to remember how these sound. 5 buttons on performance.
Especially because a lot, you know, in performance mode, you can name what it is. You can see it. I mean, you can give it names. Bridge, chorus. You can call it super gains, no gains, you know. And you can jump to these, boom, there you go. You can always see what you're, you know what I mean? And there's another view here that you can actually see where we are. What am I looking for, Sooze?
Performance view, maybe?
Yeah, display layout B. Boom. Now we're at a different display performance. Maybe people didn't know that.
That's what I'm used to.
That's the one you're used to. There's 2 ways to view the screen in performance mode.
Yeah.
There's A and B. And then boom, right here, now it's telling you these names are the names of the rig you're on.
Right, yeah. So I would do intro verse.
Yeah, and so this is an example performance that Kemper puts in there of all these different Marshall amps. I play these. Here's Michael Britt's Timmy. That's Amp Factory. I don't know what TM stands for, but push. This is less of a you know plexi inspired, so it's and it has like greenbacks, so it's a little less of that really high present thing which you get from creambacks or maybe like the EVH speakers or.
What are the speakers in the Marshall?
I believe those are 20 watt. No, those are 25 normal 25 watt greenbacks.
Okay.
This 412 behind us that we did with the JMP has 20 watt greenbacks.
Okay. Those are the jump ones that I was playing before.
Yeah, that was the jump. Here's like A or 1.
Pretty cool, man.
Pretty cool. You gonna buy one?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, when you were talking about form factor too, and I was thinking about travel. You know, like I just flew out to California with the toaster and the remote and the pedal board and all my cable and like all this stuff. You know, like I mean, this would fit in my mono bag. You know, like put some
100%.
towels around it. I got a dual mono bag. Front's a guitar. This is in the back, whatever.
And they're talking about a bag to come out for this. Rumor is they might have a backpack for it. Yeah. Which would be awesome. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, but way easier to get to a gig. I mean.
In the meantime, I'm using my Helix backpack with this. It fits.
That's one way of doing it.
It fits.
Right. That's awesome.
I think this is. I think this is the unit we wanted.
People have been asking for it.
I really do. I get that people are asking for a Kemper 2 that does that. You know, makes toast and stuff. But you know, I think there's always room for product iterations in the future, where maybe there could be a touch screen or something. But if this is the thing that Kemper users are used to, and it's put in a different format, and it's I mean, I can use this live right now, and I could have used it live after 30 minutes with it.
Right.
After the 30 minutes of exploring what I wanted to know about it, I could have easily used it live. I could load up my performance and know where everything is. And I think that's had they not done that, we'd be complaining.
Right.
I mean, it would be a total fail if like I couldn't just seamlessly sort of start using this. It wouldn't be a Profiler Stage. It'd be some other product. And maybe there are more products in the future.
Yeah.
What they really showed us with this, which is insane, is that they can design, manufacture, ship a product without anyone knowing about it. And, you know, that tells me we're not going to see anything else coming. Like, before this, they've been announcing, hey, here's the editor, we're working on it. Here's the Kemper cone. We're not, like, we don't even have manufacturing worked out for these. You know, this is what we're planning on doing, and we're exploring. These are not ready to ship. These aren't.
Right.
We don't have dates or anything. This was, look what we built the next day. Instagram photo of a UPS truck in Denver.
Pretty impressive.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
another way of saying that was that they were probably working on this at NAMM and didn't say anything about
100%.
it.
100%.
Which is crazy.
Look.
I mean, last NAMM, you know?
Yeah. I didn't know about this. Michael Britt didn't know about this.
British Audio.
British Audio didn't know about this. The North American Service Center didn't know about it. Michael Wagner didn't know about this. I'm not sure who in the United States in the Kemper organization knew about this until they probably showed up.
Right.
Reps didn't say anything.
Pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't have to wait a year for it.
Oh yeah.
Once we knew that it existed.
And today we got new order manager or rig manager.
Yeah.
With presets, which we knew was going to come and be part of that new rig manager.
Yeah.
With the editor, so I think the editor's very close.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people are going to comment about that. I'm giving this a thumbs up.
Yeah, for sure.
Play us out, Sooze. Play us something pretty. This is the Arshel Channel 1. This is probably, at the time they're watching this, it's available. Probably. Yes it is. Because I won't get this up tonight. So, beautiful.
The Arshel.
The Arshel.